Hey, this is Venger Satanis, and today I am doing a little video review of Tome of Adventure Design. It's put out by Frog God Games, and it's written by, yes, Matthew J. Finch. So basically what is this about? This book has a lot of tables, and basically 1 to 100, like random tables for things, on creating any aspect of your adventure. For instance, in book 3 section, the dungeon design, basic elements of adventure design, the motivational element, which is selling the adventure to the party, the enticements to peril chart, or table rather. You got 1 to 100, and so as you can see, I'm just going to roll some dice, and I got 25, and then you look down here, and 25 is enhanced ability to see. So, alright, let's roll again, and I got, what, 48. Let's look at 48. Improvement in movement rate. So, this is just one example of, you get some sort of random element, and you might say, oh, that sucks, or I don't want to use that. I mean, some of these are better than others. I'm just, for right now, focusing on this table in particular. Like, one is receive useful information, remove a curse, remove or reverse aging, treasure, ancient hoard, stuff like that. Let's look at a different one. Okay, sound made by process when complete. This is the table for experimental trick, machine or alchemical reaction, defined by resulting sound. Okay, again, I turn to the dice. Let's see, 32. And then I just look down here. Fizz. And then sound made by first player to speak after process is completed. I grab it. So that's just something funny, sense of humor, which the book has a little bit of. But, so some of these tables are going to be more useful than others. There's a hallucinogen, the name of the hallucinogen. There's 3 parts. First word, it's 32. Thule, and first word, part 2, is Ra, and second word is, let's see, 73, eggs. So you got Thule Ra eggs. So that's the name of a hallucinogen. But you can just, just because it's random, you don't have to go by that. You can pick something else, like root. How about Thule Qua root? And that's basically what it is throughout the whole book. Quick climatic, monster ideas. So the first part, let's just choose the chief and subhumans of, and then mind attacks, or something like that. A symbolic or decorative theme for a sarcophagus. You can pick one, or you can just roll. Let's see, 30 gives you dagger. Maybe you find that boring or something. So you want to choose pyramid, or serpent, or ship, or chips. Skulls, squares, stars, a sword, a throne or chair, a wreath, dragon, demon face, all kinds of things. I've read reviews on this book, which is what made me want to pick it up, and a lot of them said the same thing, and basically just a reiteration of the foreword, or the first chapter, the first couple pages, where it says that this is about something called deep adventure design. So it's not like you roll a bunch of numbers and then apply them to different tables and then, you know, presto, blammo, you have your adventure. You basically use this in addition to some idea you already have in your head, or something else like a different module or adventure, or, you know, campaign book, either something you bought or something you wrote yourself, or you're working on something and you just need, like, maybe you're creatively blocked for a minute or two and you just need something to jar you loose, or you just, you know, you just want to randomly look through the book and just find things that stir your imagination, make you think like, oh yeah, I could put something like that in this dungeon or that town, and you know, create something extra cool. You know, it's because obviously people can make up their own stuff, and people do all the time. I do, but when doing that, you're basically going to come up with your own same ideas a lot of the times. You know, you're going to fall back on, like, oh, you know, there's this movie I love, and, you know, I've used this trap or the layout for this building or something like that, like a million different times. Maybe not obviously, but in subtle ways, you know, your mind falls back to certain patterns or images, things like that. But a book like this can kind of shake up your own imagination and give you a starting point that's completely alien to whatever you had in your mind previously, and, you know, give you something that you never would have thought of. Just some of the names are evocative. You know, let's see, the Bronze Charnel House, or the Hypnotic Mausoleum, Ghoul Graveyard, Limestone Sarcophagi, the Abhorrent Brain, broken jars full of, I don't know, shadows and slimes and spawning terror, and lunar assassins, and, you know, I'm just going through the book randomly looking at words. You know, climbing totem poles that are pouring water from pinball games, and has a force field with shark leopards and, you know, mummified demons. They're shooting their bows at security of local prisons, with dinosaurs selling goods without license, and deep pits or channels underwater. Just like the ancient fisherman said, with the smell of rot. You know, so anyway, that's basically what this is. There are a few pages of, like, how to craft an adventure and what elements you should include. They have 9 of them here in book 1. Backstory, location, opposition, variation of challenge, exploration, race against time, resource management, milestones and conclusions, and continuation options. So you'd think, oh, that's pretty standard stuff. But, you know, there's a paragraph or two for each one. And even though it's a pretty brief section, it's got a lot of cool stuff, that a lot of necessary stuff. You know, if you fail to bring 1 or 2 elements into an adventure, you know, a full, like, you know, maybe a 3 or 4 session adventure, then it might be still a good adventure, but you know, maybe it's an 8. You could bring it up to a 9 or a 10. You know, using some of the principles in here, or just jarring your creativity with some random weirdness that you never thought of, that, you know, makes it even cooler. So who knows? I mean, who doesn't want to bring their adventure up to a 9 or a 10 if they have the chance? So I recommend it. I mean, I think it was fairly expensive, maybe $35 or something. I probably got it on Amazon, because I get most stuff at Amazon that I can't find at a game store. easily. So anyway, I've probably rambled on too much about this book. But yeah, if you're interested in something like this, I recommend it. I think it's cool. I've already used it. Not everything is going to be stellar, awesome, but there's just enough where you're like, oh, okay, cool. This is, you know, normally my adventure would go down a fairly predictable path that some, you know, I don't have a lot of recent long-term campaign experience, but if you do, or you have, and your players kind of know exactly where you're going with a certain adventure line or a certain hook, like miles before it comes, then maybe something like this will, you know, give them a turn, and they'll be like, whoa, where did that come from? That's completely unusual or out of your normal wheelhouse. And you know, that's kind of the beauty of all the tables in this system for generating a campaign or just an adventure. I mean, you can't just use this and sit down 5 minutes before the game and just keep rolling and be like, oh, okay, adventure's done. You know, use this kind of sparingly in between the writing or adapting a previously published adventure or something maybe you've written yourself. You know, it's been sitting in your drawer for a year or two. So yeah, Tome of Adventure Design, I think it's good. I think it's worth it. Not the best ever, but then what is? That's it. Yeah, Cthulhu Fhtagn. Oh, one more thing. About this, the Hackmaster, the newest Player's Handbook, which is the advanced 5th edition, yada yada. Yeah, I already said in a different video, briefly, how I don't really care for this, although it's very beautiful on the inside, and it's big and heavy, and it was fairly expensive. So if anyone wants to trade this for something I might want, I don't know, let me know. Send me a private message or something. Maybe some kind of old school, like D&D stuff, or magazines, if you've got, you know, certain like gaming magazines or something that you have, like Knockspell and Fight On and things that I've heard about but I don't own yet, or old Call of Cthulhu adventures that, like, there's some I still don't have. Maybe something like that. Good trade. Whatever. Alright.